Hello friends. So I can't see many of you. Yeah, this is my first class after so many days on a different day. I used to take classes on Saturdays. Now I'll be taking classes every Thursday going forward. So I think I shall wait for 2 more minutes, then I'll start. If you can listen or hear my voice, and if you can see the screen, kindly give me a thumbs up so that I can start with the session. So I can see few of you here. Okay, hello friends, welcome to EduTap and also welcome to the lecture on beneficial insects. See, this is one of the important topics, though this was not mentioned in the prescribed syllabus of NABARD grade A and B as well for ARD. Few questions from this topic are being asked or were asked in few of previous year exams in NABARD grade A and B. So I have taken up this lecture today, and this is useful for AFO as well. And so let's start. So before getting into the session, see friends, I request you to subscribe to our YouTube channel in case you are new here, so that you can get the daily videos whatever that are uploaded, so that they will be helpful for your preparation of exams like NABARD grade A and B, IBPS, AFO, etc. And also you can join our Telegram channel as well, so as to get daily updates and free content that is being uploaded on them on YouTube, or the links are being provided on Telegram channel as well, so that they can be helpful for your preparation. So friends, here I want to take you through about the EduTap Hall of Fame. See, EduTap has been delivering highest selections in India consistently since the past few years in various exams like RBI Gr B, NABARD grade A, SEBI grade A, as well as IBPS AFO as well. And friends, if you want to know more about any of these courses and features of these courses, please drop us a mail at edutap.co.in or hello@edutap.co.in, or you can even give us a call at 8146207421 here on this number, or mail us on this. Also friends, kindly note that the links to our courses have been provided here in the description box, which you can go through at your convenience. So friends, here our courses, as I have shown here, we are providing courses in RBI grade B, NABARD grade A, NABARD grade B, SEBI grade A, and EPFO, AO or EO, as well as IBPS AFO mains course. So friends, with this, let's start with the session. So, is my voice audible? I have been talking a lot since the past few minutes, but I am not getting any responses from you. So I hope you are able to listen to my voice and you are able to view the screen. So I am starting with the session. So the first question here says, what is apiculture? See, what is apiculture? Is it rearing of honeybees, rearing of silkworms, rearing of lac insects? Is it a type of tissue culture? So friends, I am waiting for your answers. So here correct answer is apiculture. It is rearing of honeybees. And what is rearing of silkworms called? Anyone? No one? Okay. Rearing of silkworms is called sericulture. Rearing of lac insects is called lac culture. These are few of the beneficial insects which are they are this syllabus is useful for NABARD exam, and there are many more beneficial insects other than this. that mostly they are useful for AFO exam, because there they got little bit in-depth or applied questions sort of. So here, rearing of honeybees, it's apiculture. What exactly is apiculture? The term apiculture, it has come from Latin word wherein apis means bee, and it is the scientific management of scientific study of or taking care and management of honeybee production for the production of honey and wax. And honeybees belong to family Apidae, subfamily Epinae, and genus Apis. So here this is about honeybees. As you can see here, this is how they construct the comb, and then they, after lengthy process wherein the worker honeybees, they go and they get the honey nectar, they take the nectar and then they come back and they give them to the worker honeybees, those who are working on the hive. Then after a process, that honey is deposited into these honeycombs and then they are sealed with wax. After that, once we extract honey from this and then filter, that is what the final honey that we get. So this is about apiculture and honey. Here comes the next question. Which of the following is the most rare honeybee species in India? See, there are various species of honeybees that which will be dealing about them right now, and of which this particular honeybee is the most rare species of honeybees in India, as well as in most of the other parts of the world as well, because of its use as well as the easy rearing. See, I don't know why I am not able to get any responses from you guys, and this is the first time that I am facing this. Okay. So correct answer here is Apis mellifera. It is also called as European bee or Italian bee, and this is the one that is mostly rare species in India. And the other three species of honeybees, they are Apis dorsata, which is called as rock bee, Apis cerana indica, this is the Indian bee, Apis florea, this is the little bee, of which this rock bee, it produces somewhere around 30 to 35 kgs of honey per year. But yes, because of its aggressive nature and a swarming nature, they are not considered for rearing. And Apis cerana indica, the output is very low here, again swarming nature very high, so this is also not considered for rearing. But yes, Apis mellifera, this is the one, the European or the Italian bee, that is mostly reared in India for its honey, and they yield an average of 35 kgs of honey per hive per year, and they are less prone to swarming and absconding, and these are little bit larger than Indian bees, but yes, they are smaller than rock bees. And they also make multiple parallel combs in cavities in darkness, thereby the productivity increases. And here, because of all these plus points, they have been imported from European countries, especially from Italy. That's the reason it's also called as Italian bee, and Indians, we started rearing these in India. So friends, next question. Which of the following is a natural method of colony multiplication in which a part of the colony migrates to a new site to make a new colony? See, naturally what honeybees do, once they start a colony, slowly after a point of time, few of the worker bees, they start rearing the few eggs into queen bee, and then the old queen bee along with few workers bees, they migrate and they start a new colony. This is only to increase the number or to go on a large scale in various places, to multiply, to propagate, all these, anything you can say. So for that they do this, and that particular process, that particular method which is natural, that is called as, we have been discussing about this, I mean we have been hearing that word since the last past few minutes a lot, that is swarming. That's called as swarming. So here this is occurs when a colony builds up considerable strength, or when the queen's substance secreted by queen falls below a certain level. then this is the hint for them to for the dispersal and to perpetuate their species, so they move on. So here what they do is, when the queen cells are sealed after pupation, the old queen along with 1/3 or half of the colony strength moves out of the hive and they start building a new hive. And this, the first swarm which comes of the parent colony with the old queen, is called the primary swarm, and they build a new hive. This you must have observed. So where there is suddenly a swarm of bees, they come and they start building a honeycomb. So this is that swarming. They move from place to place after a particular period of time. So this is about swarming in honeybees. Next, let's discuss something sweet about honey. Which of the following types of sugars is the main component sugar of honey? See, there are some 3 to 4 types of sugars that are present in honey, which gives that that sweet flavor and particular texture and sweetness. This, of all these, dextrose, fructose, sucrose, levulose, which of these is the mostly, main component of the sugars that is present in honey, as I can say? I think I'll log in again. I'll try if whether you're answering and I'm not getting the answers. I'll try once again. Nope, I'm not getting any answers from you. Okay, here the correct answer is levulose. Levulose is the main component sugar of honey. As you can see, this is the composition of fully ripened honey. See, after the deposition of honey in the honeycomb, that that hexagonal cells, and covering that with that wax and everything, that honey is left for some time so as to ripen. Now that fully ripened honey is the one that we consume, and that has 41% levulose and 35% dextrose, 1.9% sucrose, 1.5% dextrins. Minerals, they sum up to 2%. Water, 17% of the water. That's the reason that liquid, because of that liquid, that is all water. And undetermined enzymes, vitamins, pigments, they constitute 1.6%. And yes friends, there are pigments also in them, like keratin, chlorophyll, xanthophyll, etc., that gives that color to that honey. And the minerals which we are talking about here, the 2% minerals, they include potassium, calcium, phosphorus, sodium, magnesium, manganese, copper, sulfur, silica, iron. That's the reason it is considered one of the good food. And vitamins, yes, vitamin B1 thiamine, B2 riboflavin, nicolinic acid, vitamin K, folic acid, ascorbic acid, and pantothenic acid. All these, this is the complete composition of honey. So friends, here comes the next question. Now we are moving on from honeybees to lac insects. Today we are going to do questions, as I have mentioned, on beneficial insects, especially 3 beneficial insects. One is honeybees, second is lac insects, and the third is silkworms. So here the next question says, the lac which grows on non-kusum plants is called as, and which grows on kusum plants, it's called as kusumi lac. See friends, lac insects generally there are majorly they grow on 2 type of plants. One is kusum trees, and the other is non-kusum trees, which include so many other various trees. I am not revealing the names because there is a question based on that. So non-kusum trees here. So the lac that is produced on kusum trees is called as kusumi lac, and the lac that is produced on non-kusum trees is called as. Now friends, I am not getting any answers from you. Are you there? So here the correct answer is Ranjim lac. This is called Ranjim lac. The lac that is produced on non-kusum trees is called as Ranjim lac. As you can see here, The lac which grows on non-kusum plants is called as Ranjim lac, and which grows on kusum plant is called kusumi lac. This is how lac insects, they deposit the resin. See, inside there are lac insects. They produce the resinous lac that is coated on their body. See, entire inside the lac insects will be there. How they'll survive? They absorb the sap from this tree. So that's the reason lac insects, on one hand, they might be beneficial when they are reared commercially, but if they are not reared commercially and they still attack some some agriculture plants, their host plants, then they are even considered as pests. So sometimes lac insects can be considered as pests also. So here lac insects, they repeat its life cycle twice in a year, so 2 times. So based on that, there are actually 4 lac crops. Since lac insects behave in 2 ways, either they develop on kusum plants or they develop on plants other than kusum. So for kusum plants, 2 life cycles, and they have their own terms and terminology. And non-kusum plants also, they can go for 2 life cycles. Again, these have other terminology. So they are considered as 4 life cycles in general because of kusum and non-kusum plants acting as host plants. So here, now we are done with this lac insect, at least one question. Next, what is the scientific name of lac insect? Can I expect answers here? Okay. So what is the scientific name of lac insect? So friends, here the scientific name of lac insect is Lacifer lacca, or earlier we used to call that Tecardia lacca, but now this is what Lacifer lacca is the one that is being used as scientific name for lac insect. And lac culture is a scientific management of lac insects to obtain a high amount of quality lac. And now these lac, it involves a selection and maintenance of host plants. As I have mentioned, they have to be on that host plants, that too only at certain age of the plants only they can survive, because they have to suck the sap out of those plants. So if they are trees, I mean hardy trees, they'll not be able to suck that sap. So young aged trees only are suitable for them. And inoculation of these host plants with healthy lac insects, that needs to be done for commercial culture. Next, collection and processing of lac and protection against any enemies. Yes, lac insects also have their own enemies. So the person who is commercially cultivating them, and since these are cultivated, they are also called as cropping seasons. 1 crop, 2 crops, as I have mentioned that life cycles, they are also called as cropping seasons. So 2 cropping seasons they are taken. So totally 4 kusum and non-kusum plants. Now lac is nothing but a resinous secretion from the lac insects, and 2 species of lac insects are cultivated or more common. One is Lacifer lacca, which we have seen. Other is Lacifer chinensis, and this Lacifer lacca is the one, this is the most predominant species that is cultivated in India. And along with India, there are other countries who produce this lac, and they are Thailand, Myanmar, China, Indonesia, Vietnam, Laos, of which India and Thailand are the major producers, of which India alone accounts for about 70% of the global lac production. And in India, Madhya Pradesh, Bihar and Maharashtra, Chhattisgarh, these are the few states where this lac culture is of high importance. So now we are done with this lac culture. Next, which of the following trees is host plant for lac insects? As I have told you, lac insects need a host plant to survive. There they suck the sap out of the plants, and then they feed on that, and then they secrete the resinous material which is dries up later. First it will be it is very soft. Later when it comes in contact with the air, it starts hardening. So here, which of the following is a host plant for lac insects here? What happened, friends? I'm not getting any answers from you. Is my net slow, or but I'm able to see everything properly in my phone. Okay, let me tell you the answer here. See, it's all of the above. All these palas, bear, kusum, babul, these are all the host plants for lac insects. And as you can see here, these are the various, on various trees, various types, based on the type of tree, the color and, the secretions color will also differ. Kusum, Schlickera trijuga, this is the one, and these are all considered as non-kusum. These are non-kusum trees, and this is kusum trees. Kusumi lac, this Ranjim lac. Pallas, Beauty of frondosa, bear, Ziziphus jujuba, bear, the one which you eat, that fruit. Babul, Acacia arabica, Khair, Acacia catechu, Arhar, Casanus indicus. So as you can see here, this, as I have mentioned, very beneficial insect, but if it attacks or it tries to take the cultivated plants as host, then that can be treated as a pest. So as you can see here, bear, which is cultivated. Generally these lac insects, they are cultivated on wild bear trees. But yes, if they come on to domesticated bear, then yes, it can be considered as pest. Arhar also, Arhar red gram. Casanus casan, that the one which you cultivate, otherwise Casanus indicus, which is a wild variety. On this also lac insects can be cultivated, but when it attacks the Casanus casan variety, that is cultivated domesticated species, then it can be considered as a pest. So here we are done with this lac insect. Now we are moving on to silkworms. So here, friends, airy silkworms feed on. See, there are various species of silkworms like airy silkworm, muga silkworm, tusser silkworm, oak tusser silkworm, wherein based on the type of silkworm, they feed on various plant materials. Like mulberry silkworm, they feed on mulberry leaves. Similarly, others, they feed on others, and based on that, the type of secretion also differs, the silk secretion. So here airy silkworm is one such kind of type of silkworm, and airy silkworms, they feed on castor leaves. So here this is the airy silkworm, as you can see, and the scientific name of airy silkworm is Philosemia ricini, and this is a household activity that is practiced mainly for protein rich pupae, which is a delicacy for the tribals, and resultantly what happens is the airy cocoons are open mouthed and spun. That's the reason these are used indigenously for preparation of chadars, wraps for own use by these tribals. So what these tribals use is they rear these airy silkworms for this pupae. See, egg, the adult silkworm, the fly that lays the eggs. Now from these eggs comes the larvae, which you are seeing here. Now these larvae, after a few days, it starts spinning to prepare the pupa. After this pupa is the one from which silk can be extracted. See, if before the emergence of the adult fly, this pupa needs to be treated, and then that silk needs to be extracted. So what they do is, instead of waiting, instead of killing that pupa, taking that silk directly from that, these tribals, they open that and take the pupa out, and they they have it as their meal, and then the rest they the silk is extracted. Hence, as this is mentioned here, these are open mouthed, since they are opened and taken. Otherwise, in general, for mulberry silkworms, what they do, egg stage will be their larva. This pupa, they won't make a hole and take the pupa out for any other usage. Directly they extract the silk out of this pupa before the adult emerges from this. So this is the Philosemia ricini, that is the airy silkworm, and this is the life cycle, which basic life cycle which I have taken you through. So here comes the next question. Scientific name of Muga silkworm. See, Muga silkworm, we have had a question on this in NABARD Grade A exam. I don't exactly remember the year, but yes, they have asked that Muga silkworm is from which state of India, where is it reared. So here the scientific name itself reveals that Antheria assamensis. This is the scientific name of Muga silkworm, and yes, it is from Assam. And as you can see here, Muga silkworm, this is a Muga silkworm, and it is a prerogative of India and the pride of Assam state, and Antheria assamensis. And these silkworms, they feed on the aromatic leaves of som and soalu plants and are reared on trees similar to that of tussar. Tussar also almost similar, they have the feeding habits. And Muga culture is specific to Assam state and an integral part of tradition and culture of that state, that is Assam. And Muga silk, it is a high value product that is used in for saris, mekalas, chadars, etc. So this is about Muga silkworm. And next comes is the last question. Which of the following is the correct pair regarding the scientific names of silkworms? See, these are the various silkworms which we have discussed till now. That is airy silkworm, we have seen Muga silkworm, we have seen the tussar silkworm, Antheria millita, and oak tussar silkworm, Antheria proyeli. And so yes, these all the above are the correct pairs. And yes, these are the various types of silkworms that are reared in India. So friends, with this I am done with the questions part. So any doubts now you can ask if you are if you want to, or I shall wind up the session after taking you through the session's question of the session, that is your homework question. So now also I am not getting any responses from you, so I'll wind up after taking you through that homework question. So this is the silkworm, mulberry silkworm. As you can see here, the the silk sort of secretion that is secreted, and then it moves its head continuously to spin, so that the silk is spun over it, and the entire structure, it will be converted into a pupa. Now once that is done, within 5 to 6 days, yes, on the 6th or 7th day, they will be treated, so that generally the pupa inside the worm that gets killed, and then the entire silk that is being spun by the silkworm is extracted. So this is a mulberry silkworm, as you can see here. So next homework question. So friends, this is a question for today. Indian Institute of Natural Resins and Gums. Earlier this was known as ILRI, that is Indian Lac Research Institute. Now it is headquartered at which place in India, which city in India? So friends, I am done with the session, and till now also I am not able to get any responses from you. I think there might be some network issues or some other issue, but still hope you have enjoyed the session. And if you have any queries regarding the session, you can always write to us at hello@edutap.co.in, or you can always comment on the video also. So any questions? So I shall give you the answer for this homework question in my next class. Yeah, Nick, it's not Assam, it's not Guwahati. If you're talking about this Natural Resins and Gums Institute, Indian Institute of Natural Resins and Gums. Okay, I'm not getting any queries or any questions from you. Thank you very much, guys, for your patient, listening. And no, Gopal, it's not from Jhansi as well. So see you in the next class. Next Thursday, same time, 2 o'clock. Thank you very much.